This is a trend report for the New York Fashion Week Spring Summer 2026. I cannot believe I am so on point. I am so on time. Hello and welcome to Design or Design. My name is Maria and this channel is all about fashion trends, runway analysis, and we are heading from city to city of the fashion weeks and just breaking things down for what we see from those particular cities, because sometimes the city kind of determines what your style is. Later on, I will be combining everything and seeing the overarching trends of everything. But for now, let's get into it. Today, we don't have a sponsor, so I need to rely on you guys to engage so it will get a little bit more traction and maybe I'll get to minimum wage through this video. Fingers crossed. I am trying out this new phone. Let me know about the sound quality because some of you have complained that I was too quiet. So hopefully this will fix everything. If it didn't, I'm so sorry. Without any further ado, let's head into the trend. The first trend is the harem pants or the Aladdin pants or I don't know, balloon pants, whatever. So we are seeing the tendency of going away from what we had earlier, kind of cargo pants that had a tie at the bottom, to a more either like a silky material or more of a pantsuit even material like we see here in Ralph Lauren. We also see it paired with various aesthetics such as minimalism as well as more bohemian style, it looks really great with it. And it's really flowy. It's nice. It's not too hot. And especially from the material that is like silk or linen. And they have this ease of movement. I love it. I'm definitely going to try finding something like this. And we've seen this already, but I feel like this is definitely more grounding the trend itself. I know some cities already like it's overdone. I know that the more Slavic accounts have already dealt with this and they're like, we are fed up, we need something new. But for us, I haven't seen anybody wear these pants where I live. So you let me know if this is overdone for you already or not. It also comes from the barrel jeans. We see more of that in different textures. The next one is the coat. What do we need for the spring? We see lots and lots of trenches, and sometimes they're a little bit on a unique trench side, not the quite classical. Maybe it's a little bit more chilled out. Maybe it has a lower waistline with a belt there. Maybe it's cropped. Another outerwear example, and those are the stand-up colors. We've seen this already for fall, winter. They're continuing in the New York Fashion Week here with variety of examples. Sometimes it's more of a jacket, maybe it's a trench coat, but we see this stand-up color and it's not going away anywhere. So you might as well invest into it as it's the second season in a row that's happening. It might stay here for a while, or just get a pin or something and pin your color up of anything that you own. Next trend that we've seen a lot of on the runways is the fringe texture. It could be in accessories such as earrings, bags, like you can see here, or it could be in more of a smaller texture on the dress or a longer texture, you name it. Whatever is more convenient for you, because the longer it gets, the more tricky it is. We also see lots of feather, I don't want to say fringe, but like it's pretty fringy feather situation happening here in a few shows, not too many. And fringes, I don't know, we've seen it already. I always talk about fringe in all of my videos, so I'm not sure why this is considered one of the trends by, I don't remember, was it Vogue or Elle or something? But anyways, we see it again. Maybe the feather aspect of it is a little bit more nuanced, but yes. Also Calvin Klein, the pom-poms. I don't know where you would wear them. Maybe if you're a cheerleader in high school and you're like, I might as well just wear them so they don't get lost. But anyways, some of the outfits remind me of the Addams Family with their cousin, or whatever, with the hair and everything. We also see fringe, like a heavier fringe in fur here in Altazara. Also the feathers, as I mentioned. Calvin Klein had a keychain, a really long keychain. For sure, you will not be able to use your keys if you have one of these. you will at least see one of the fringe peeking out from the couch cushions.
Another trend that has trickled down from the fall winter trends is the fur elements. We see lots of faux boas, we see lots of faux trimmings like on around the collar, or maybe it's the skirt that's made in fur, maybe it's a detail on a dress like sleeves. But yes, definitely for me, I love the boas or the scarves, or even like boa sleeves, like here in Altazara. Really great accessory. I'm not sure about the spring summer though.
Anyways, guys, let's move on to a more of a distressed or unfinished trend. We see lots of distressed denim here on the runway, even in the gown. From Katie here, we see more of the kind of unfinished hems, maybe a little bit of fringing happening on the fabric itself. Coach had lots of sweaters and denim that's been ripped apart in some way. We see a furthering of that in other examples here. But let's move on to something that I didn't really expect to see, and that's minimalism. We have had minimalism for so long, and then it was like, now it's maximalism, yay! And then now it's minimalism. I feel like it's a little bit too early for that. But anyways, I digress. So minimalism can be in a interesting silhouette, but dialed down in accessorization or dialed down in color. You can still be minimalistic with color, but it would be like head to toe, one single color, like a monochromatic color. It could be something that is interesting, statement making piece, and then everything else is neutral. It could be maybe a pair of pants that is really interestingly cut, but everything else is nice, clean. It could be an interesting shape, like here it's a rectangle for a top, or it could be an interesting cut with the back of the jacket missing. Anyways, you guys, you can see it here. We've seen this before, and sometimes minimalists go unseen just because it does not scream. So yeah. Next one up is the hips. We see emphasis on hips for a while now. Usually the easiest one that we see today is the peplum on anything, on everything, outerwear, jackets, dresses, you name it. It's done a little bit differently than what we've seen before when it was popular. I think it was in 2010, but love it. We also see really unique cutouts on the dresses, making the hips stand out. I love that idea too. We also see these with kind of like a plastic, like a little belt. We also see wires being put in the skirts where the hips would be, creating that extra shape on there as well. I really like it. Or having more textured items on the hip line to create more of an hourglass effect. And yes, more skirts with that. Love it. Definitely something, if you're more rectangular, this would be a great way to create some of the curves that you are lacking. Depending on the peplum too, you can also do that. But if the peplum kind of goes up here and exposes your tummy and you have a tummy, then it will highlight it. So maybe a longer peplum everywhere around would be your bet. Love these kind of exaggerated pockets or exaggerated hips. Love it all. And we see this in denim, more of street style versions as well, which I really like because fashion is fashion, but if we can't really wear it day to day, then how is it ever gonna go into the streets? You know what I mean? And I can totally see myself wearing something like this. We also see gowns with these extra peplum-esque situations. But let's get into the headscarves. As we've seen, these are moving from Copenhagen into New York Fashion Week as well. And I quite like it. It's an excellent head covering for those sunny days that we all need so we don't get a heat stroke. Let's head into the colors that we have seen on the runways. Red as well. Yeah, most of the colors are repeating. We'll see how it goes with the Pantone color analysis, which I'll talk about when I get to cover all the fashion weeks. But here we are. If you're on my Instagram, you know that I wear it often. But we also see light baby blue or like light blue. This is why I'm wearing this number right here. I quite like it for spring, summer. It's nice and airy and light. These two colors are repeating from the Copenhagen Fashion Week. Probably this will be one of those colors that will be talked about in the color analysis of the runways in the future. But also there are some other colors that were present like pink and butter yellow for the Copenhagen. But anyways, let's move on to the prints. Yes, some articles talk about the polka dots being the most trending one. New York Fashion Week did not see a lot of those. There was some florals, but come on, florals for spring. It is what it is. It's always there. It's never gonna end. There's always gonna be florals. Does not matter if it's spring, summer, fall, or winter, there are always going to be florals. It just depends on what kind of florals there are, what's the style. Here we see more of a smaller ones. Sometimes there were mixed together the stylization of the florals and the animals and the everything. Some of the animal prints here, not a lot of prints at all. I don't really like prints, but I know that I need to wear them because I'm a messy person and I always get something on me if I'm eating, especially. Yeah. Anyways, let's head into the skirt pants. It doesn't have to be a skirt. It could be a tunic, which is a very much longer shirt of some sort, and paired with pants. Love this. We've seen this already. We've seen this in Copenhagen Fashion Week. We've seen this a few seasons before in a row. Like it, totally gonna wear something like this. But I feel like for spring, summer, it's a little too many layers. Yeah, at least in my opinion. For sure, fall, winter, that is what I'm going to be doing. But then again, if you have a very lightweight pant, maybe a silky dress thing and silky pants and wearing them together, let's move on to the sheer trend. We still see a lot of it. It's not going away. Here with some of the beautiful skirts, we see some tops from Tory Burch. We also see some dresses. Are we going to wear it as it is on the runways? Not sure. Some overlays of lace, but we do see one consecutive thing that there were lots of legging type lace, either tights, leggings, pants, or like little like bicycle shorts. We also see the rest of the clothing also being like maybe there's a little lace detail, or maybe it's just sheer. Like here we see, I'm not sure what it is, either plastic or latex. I do like it though. I would style it probably with a little bathing suit on the bottom just to cover all the necessary bits. But anyways, let's head into the next trend, and it is extra large accessories. By that, we are having crystallized tops or crystallized dresses with like chains coming off of them. Maybe we have skirts. We also see from Alexander Wang the colors filled with crystals, and the dresses are those chain. I'm not sure like what are those made of, but they're shiny. That is what I'm talking about. All right, next one up is the pendants, and not just pendants, but like pendant that is a little bit useful. So we see here a lots of like little wallets, or maybe it's the ear pod case, or maybe it's sometimes some brands have like little makeup cases that they have on here, or just really large pendants on their own. We see it here in Ralph Lauren, as well as many other shows. We see them being from more of the natural kind of materials to more glossy metallics like here. And it doesn't have to be quite low. There are pendants that are quite high up, like here in Brandon Maxwell, more of a bolo tie situation. Here we have even like a pottery inspired something, Tory Burch here with more. Is that a shell? Is that a little coin purse? I'm not sure. I'm not a wizard. Coach had also layered versions of those, having multiple little things hanging off of their necks. Anyways, we're heading into modern preppy. So what am I talking about when it's modern preppy? For me, the feeling was it's preppy, but it's more in line with ladylike. So maybe a little bit more covering, a little bit more, I don't want to say feminine, but the silhouette is very ladylike. Maybe the little blazers are paired with knee-high shorts, or maybe it's more of a pencil skirt situation like here in Tory Burch with the more elevated knit polo shirts. We see this a lot. Brandon Maxwell, again, with the plaid, with the suiting, with the pencil skirt. I love it. And the sweaters that are tied around, I feel like that is definitely a nice kiss. The next one is the belt. Of course, we see lots of belts that are just there for the use of it. And usually they were worn either on the waistline as one should wear it, or a much lower one to a dropped waistline. Not sure what they were thinking putting a chrome male organ on the belt, but yeah. Anyways, you guys, but we do see either like more of a skinnier belt just for the show, even sometimes the pendants being styled as belts. We also see here more of like little bags or like little rings, where even the tops styled as a belt, which is really interesting with the straps hanging over them. Selena Strada had the really crystallized necklaces being worn as belts. We see Calvin Klein with super tiny, like a leather cord being a belt that is making that hourglass effect. White had little baggies, but there were much more thicker. It was going on more of the hips for them. And we've seen this technique before of having more voluminous pockets, accentuating the hips. We also seen more of a fancy buckle, more of decorative chains on the shorts layered together. I feel like this is more appropriate for spring summer. We also see half corsetry here as well, going from the waist down. It's great to keep your tummy in, I feel, yes, but really outrageously thick ones as well. And we see here a micro skirt becoming a belt. I really like items like that can serve the two actions. And Anna, we had a lot of these lowered belts on the hips, bringing me back to the Y2Ks, but in a really boho style. The humongous belts here, I love these.
And the final trend that I want to discuss is another accessory, and it is a woven bag. So we have seen a lot of maybe the net bags before, maybe it's woven leathers together, like here in Calvin Klein, but we see more, maybe like even crochet top bags or something that's knitted, like here in Tory Burch. Love this idea for spring, summer. Very fresh and nice idea. I love it. It definitely gives me the summer vibes. And also Michael Kors here with more leather alternative.
All right, you guys, this completes the overarching fashion trends that are happening on the New York Fashion Week for spring summer 2026. I'm really excited for the upcoming season. And if you are too, then make sure to subscribe. If you watched to the end, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Make sure to leave an emoji. Let's do what's New York? Oh, an apple. Yes, it's spring and it's New York. I'll know that you watched till the end. Another way you can support me is by simply liking this video and maybe sharing it with somebody who is into fashion too. I know it's just the beginning of fall right now, but if you would like to see how I style the trends that I'm seeing and how I adapt them into my everyday style, make sure to check out my Instagram where I try to share my daily outfits unless I'm at home just editing videos and wearing my pajamas. Nobody wants to see them. But other than that, I hope you have an amazing rest of the day. And yeah, stay classy. Bye.